called to the performance of important trusts in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interest you have committed to our charge. Amen. Sergeant at Arms, ring the quorum bell for 10 minutes.
Well, the business of the National Assembly is about to commence. The House is facing a quorum hitch. The prayer has been said and the chair taken, but the quorum hasn't been raised yet. The Deputy Speaker has directed that the quorum bell be rung for 10 minutes. Currently, what you are seeing on your screens, that is inside the National Assembly chambers. Members are still making their way inside. At this point, when the quorum bell is underway, no member is allowed to walk out. This is, of course, to ensure that the numbers present is not interfered with, and that the members that are walking in then can be easy for those keeping tabs with the numbers inside, be able to ensure that the number or the quorum is raised. So if you're just joining us, that the House is about to commence, but there is a quorum hitch, and that is why that quorum bell is underway. Of course, to give room to the members who may be running late, to be able to hasten their steps and join their colleagues inside the chamber for the business to be undertaken. Remember, this is a sitting that the House resolved to hold. Normally, the Tuesday sittings are usually held in the afternoon, that is 2:30 in the PM. However, owing to the recess that the members are about to commence, and regarding the business that is yet to be dispensed with within this fourth session, the members resolved to hold this particular sitting, of course, to be able to dispense with the number of business that is deemed urgent to be concluded with before they proceed on that particular recess. So this is a sitting that the members themselves resolved to hold. And of course, we believe that they will be able to quicken their steps and be able to join their colleagues inside the chamber. A chilly morning it is, but we believe that the House will be able to correct and be able to transact that which is lined up for consideration before the House this morning. Now, talking about the business that they will be transacting, the Computer Misuse and Cyber Crimes Amendment Bill, originating from the National Assembly, Bill number 41 of 2024, a bill that was debated conclusively on the floor of the House. At its second reading stage will this morning be also considered. A question will be put for this particular bill to proceed to the next stage. That is consideration at the Committee of the Whole House, in case there are amendments that were moved by the members during its debate at the second reading stage. So that is part of the business that the members will be transacting this morning as they hold this particular meeting. At this point, the leadership of the House, especially the whips, normally mobilize the members who may be within the precincts of Parliament but have not gotten to the chamber. Because remember, if the House fails to raise that much needed quorum, then it risks being adjourned until the next sitting, being this afternoon 2:30. However, if the quorum is raised, then they will be able to continue with the business. So it is upon the members to avail themselves and enable the House attain or correct as is needed and be able to conduct the business that is lined up for consideration, because failure to showing up, then that means that might interrupt with the quorum that is needed, and that would mean that the House adjourns until the next sitting. So as we wait for the quorum to be able to be raised, we shall continue to take a look at the business that is lined up for consideration. The Advocates Amendment Bill, a bill also originating from the National Assembly, sponsored by the chairperson, Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs. This is a committee bill that is coming up also for first reading. This morning, 2 bills are lined up for consideration at the Committee of the Whole House. You will recall the debate that was done comprehensively and conclusively on the floor of the House regarding the Air Passenger Service Charge Amendment Bill, government bill, as well as the Virtual Assets Service Providers Amendment Bill. The Virtual Asset seeks to provide for the legal framework to license and regulate the activities of virtual asset service providers. So also debate on this particular bill was done comprehensively or conclusively on the floor of the House, and this morning.
The quorum bell for another 5 minutes.
Speaker of the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Gladys Boss, has directed that the quorum bell be rung for a further 5 minutes. This clearly means that the lapse of the 10-minute quorum bell, the House failed to raise that much-needed quorum, and therefore there is need for a further 5-minute quorum bell. Remember, as provided for in the House Standing Order, the lapse of the first 10-minute quorum bell, the second one will be rung, that is for 5 minutes. Of course, this is an allowance to the members who are running late to at least be able to hasten their steps and be able to join their colleagues inside the chambers. As you can see, much as we are seeing members inside the chambers, but that number is not enough to have quorated, and therefore a bell is underway. At least 50 members of the National Assembly should be inside the chamber or shall be seated at the time the prayer is said and the chair taken for the House to be deemed to have quorated. If that is not present, then that will mean that a quorum bell be rung, of course, for the members to be able to get into the chamber. Remember, this is a sitting that the House resolved, or the members themselves resolved to hold ahead of a recess that is expected or set to commence tomorrow. So this is a sitting that the members resolved to hold to be able to dispense with a number of priority business that they wish to dispense with before they proceed on that particular recess. However, on a Tuesday like this, the time allocated for the sitting or the normal sitting of the House is 2:30 in the PM. So this is a sitting that the members opted to hold just to be able to conclude on a number of business. As I had indicated earlier, 2 bills will be considered at the Committee of the Whole, but remember, all this is subject to the quorum. If the quorum is raised, then they will be able to proceed with the business. If that quorum is not present, as provided for in the House Standing Order, then the House risks being adjourned until 2:30 in the PM. The matter of lack of quorum at the commencement of the House is an issue that the Speaker has been addressing, pleading with the members, and also directing that the House ought not to lack quorum at the commencement, because if the quorum is not present, then the business that is lined up for consideration during that particular sitting ends up not being considered and moved to the next sitting, which further also interrupts with the business as per the calendar of the House. So if you are just joining us, do not worry. The House is facing a quorum hitch. As you can see, more members are still making their way into the chamber. The prayer has been said and the chair taken, but the House cannot commence yet owing to that quorum hitch. And that is why there is that delay in the commencement of the House business. Time allocated for the sitting this morning was 10 in the a.m. It's now 15 minutes past, and the House hopes that it will be able to attain the quorum for it to continue with transacting the business that has been lined up for consideration this morning. A motion regarding the consideration of the fifth report on examination of financial statements on selected state corporations will also be considered this morning. The state corporations include the National Social Security Fund for the financial year 2020-2021, the Kenya Marine and Fisheries Research Institute for the financial year 2019-2020 to 2020-2021, National Hospital Insurance Fund for financial year 2018-2019 to 2020-2021, and the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation for the financial year 2013-2014 to 2018-2019. This is a report that was laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 5th of August 2025 by the Departmental Committee, or the Watchdog Committee, one of the watchdog committees, that is the Public Investments Committee on Social Services, Administration and Agriculture. So that is part of the business that the members will be able to transact this morning. Remember, the House is just waiting to correct. Otherwise, the business would have started at 10 when the prayer was said and the chair taken. However, that is not so, and therefore the second round of quorum bell, that is 5-minute quorum bell, is underway. The 10-minute quorum bell, the first round has lapsed without the House raising that quorum, and the Speaker directed that a further 5 minutes be rung. Of course, this is according to the standing orders, order number 34, paragraph 1. A further 5-minute quorum bell is underway for at least to give room to the members who are running late to be able to get to the chambers and enable the House raise that much needed quorum. I can see that at least a good number of members has walked in, so we hope that the Speaker shall, if that quorum is not present, that will mean that the House adjourns. We should be waiting for a communication from the Speaker to indicate to us that whether the quorum has been raised or not, because at this point the 5-minute may have lapsed already, but we shall be waiting to hear on the direction that the Speaker will be giving. Pursuant to provisions of Standing Order 44, paragraph 2C, that gives an opportunity to members to be able to request for statements from various departmental committees. The Honorable Member, nominated Member Abubakar Talib, will be requesting for a statement from the Committee on Transport and Infrastructure regarding traffic congestion along Changamwe Port Trees Road. This is a statement that the member will be elaborating on as he makes his presentation and seeking for answers from the Committee on Transport and Infrastructure. The member for Langata, Honorable Felix Odwar, will also be seeking for a statement or requesting for a statement from the Committee on Communication, Information and Innovation regarding provision of an express counter for emergency cases on the e-Citizen platform. There are also statements that were earlier on requested by responses that members had requested for regarding some statements. This morning, the Committee on Tourism and Wildlife will be giving responses to 4 statements that the members had sought. Some of these statements include a statement by the Honorable Member for Chepalungu, Victor Koech, regarding human-wildlife conflict in Chepalungu constituency. The Committee on Tourism and Wildlife will also respond to a statement that was sought by the Honorable Member for Igembe North, Honorable Julius Taitumu. This is with regards to the perennial human-wildlife conflict in Igembe North. Of course, while the committee is responding to this particular concern, members believe that it will be also addressing the same concerns that various parts of the country have raised regarding human-wildlife conflict. The Committee on Tourism and Wildlife, again, will also respond to a statement that was requested by the Honorable nominated member, Irene Mayaka, regarding declaration of protected areas in Nyamira County, and also a statement that had been requested by the Honorable Member for Sirisia, Honorable John Waluke, regarding the decline in performance in the tourism sector in the country will also be responded to this morning by the Committee on Tourism and Wildlife. We are just waiting to hear from the Speaker whether the quorum has been raised. A substantive number of members has walked in.
Members, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 35-2, there being no quorum, the House stands adjourned to Tuesday, 19th August, 2025 to 2:30 p.m. Today afternoon. Okay.